We'll just start this evening with a sit. And so you can get comfortable, and if you like, you're always welcome to lay down, and if you do so, put a pillow under your knees so that you're nice and comfortable. So let yourself get comfortable, and you can close your eyes, or if that's not good for you, you can look at the floor about 3 feet in front of you, just with a soft gaze. Okay? And so just taking a breath and allowing yourself to arrive here, and just noticing where you are right in this moment. Just doing a little light scan of your body and your mind and heart. And noticing that whatever's here, it's just temporary. Conditions are such. There may be joy, there may be pain, but it's just the conditions of this moment. And so we can allow it to be here. And just noticing what that's like if you don't fight with what is, and you're just letting yourself be with what is. Making space for what is. You may notice a slight softening with this allowing, or less grasping. And then, excuse me, what is a cough. And then going ahead and letting yourself begin just breathing out whatever you notice, particularly any tensions you may notice. And again, it's not with a harsh presence, but a very gentle acceptance. We're just not clinging to it or holding on to it. As I've said before, it's like allowing a butterfly to just fly out of your hand. And if you notice a particular pain or tension that keeps coming back, that's absolutely okay. It just means it's a little sticky. And so you just gently keep breathing it out. No contention. And at some point it will release. And as we do this, we're just emptying out all the extra energy, the stress we've carried from today. Just letting it go. Allowing our body, our heart, and our mind to come back to its center. And if you have a lot of tension today, a lot of stress, you can just keep breathing out and emptying for the whole sit. That would be wonderful. But if you're noticing some peace or quiet, some ease, I invite you to begin breathing into that ease. And just letting the ease or the quiet get as big as it likes. No need to grow it or push it. We're just being with it and letting it grow on its own. Allowing it. Doesn't matter how big it is, each time it's different. And you can even let yourself become it. Let go of your stories. Let go of time. Let go of the body and just let this quiet energy be your body. So it's as if the quiet energy is breathing. Just being in touch with your essential nature, this part of you that lies deep within. Always here, no matter what's going on in the world. And this evening, I would like to invite you also to recall something that you're grateful for this week. Something you're grateful for. Could be a person or an event or some kindness that someone showed you. A connection made. And as you recall this gratitude, just taking a moment to notice how it makes you feel. How it feels in your body, your heart, your mind. And then just taking a moment to breathe this gratitude through your whole body. Letting the joy or ease get into your toes and your fingers, top of your head. Your organs. Letting your body change because of this gratitude. Oh, it's like this. And just taking a moment to rest here. So this evening, again, this offering that we've been doing has just been around holding us during these unusual times. So I was thinking about the things that are going right, right now, because of this opening, because of what's happening. You've probably heard of many of these things yourself. The federal forces that pulled out of Portland. And it was really interesting for me to see, we're going into more cities, but we're not hearing about that right now. We're not hearing so much about that. And in Kansas, 4 Native Americans won their candidacy in the primaries. And in Iowa today, the governor signed an edict saying that felons, those who are convicted felons, are allowed to vote now. They can vote in Iowa in November. And so they've gotten their right to vote back. Maybe you've seen Emmanuel Acho doing his conversations, uncomfortable conversations with a black man on YouTube. If not, I suggest you check them out. And he's actually a sports commentator for Fox News. And he is inviting people to conversations to really open up white mind and what it is we need to change in privilege for us to actually change the world, which is really quite beautiful. And what else? Oh, the New York Times has started a podcast called Nice White Parents. And so if you're a white parent, you might want to check it out. And it's about how white parents have, nice white parents have really affected our education and school departments in not very helpful ways that actually have kept systemic racism going. And so really waking us up to these changes. So that was actually what I wanted to focus on tonight, was I just wanted to take a moment to hear from some of you before we go forward, just a little bit about what is going right, what has changed in your life, what is new in your life that actually wasn't here 6 months ago. So you can just take a moment to kind of feel into that. What new connections have you made? What things have you risked? What learning have you taken on? It's a little bit about what are we grateful for? What changes have happened that we're grateful for? So I would love to just hear from a couple of people. One person called me and told me that they've started doing Zoom with their siblings. And they hadn't been in connection for decades. And now here they are doing Zoom every week. So just hearing from a couple of people. Yeah.
One of the things I'm grateful for is being able to participate in this, because I'm in California that I couldn't have done before. It's really wonderful to have that access that I didn't have before.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Thanks. Yeah, it's wonderful to connect with people all around. Yeah. Other people? Other things you're grateful for? Or changes?
Really excited to learn who our vice presidential candidate will be.
Yeah.
I know it's going to be a woman, whether they're black or white, but seeing a woman, that woman knowledge is going to be so very helpful to us in the future.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that women, there's a real chance here for a woman to be part of the that upper power echelon over there, really making changes. That's beautiful. Yeah. Other people?
I've had a pretty wonderful experience spending so much time with my husband.
Yeah.
Together all the time. And we're both kind of uniting in the vows and what's important to us and supporting each other. And it feels really good to be on the same page. It's pretty heartwarming. It's been really heartwarming.
That's beautiful. Yeah, I think a lot of relationships are being impacted in a beautiful way that we hadn't expect. Anyone else? Yeah.
What comes to mind for me is, because of the ways that we're expected to get together with others, I've really enjoyed some of my more one-on-one time with friends. I love group activities and social engagements, but I've been able to just find joy in certain other relationships and spend more time deeply in them because of the circumstances, I would say.
Yeah,
that's been a real joy.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. And I don't know about you guys, but I also found that after being quarantined for so long, I had a deeper appreciation of my friendships, right? I missed everybody so much. And so getting back together with everybody slowly has been so sweet to do that as well. Yeah, thank you. That's great. So one of the things about this is that with all this learning and this change, these aren't necessarily things we would have chosen. 6 months ago, we wouldn't have necessarily picked it. And some of them have been difficult and painful. And had somebody asked you, would you want to do this or be willing to even do this? No, I don't know that I'd want to show up for that. But what we find as we step into this flow of unknowing is that our old system starts to break down, right? The kind of the crunchiness that we have of what we've done always, our habits and habits of mind, those kinds of things, they get broken down. And it feels uncomfortable to have it broken down. But once they're broken, once they kind of fall off, we realize we're okay. We realize, oh, I can live without that. And that such a freshness comes in when we realize we can live without some of those things that we thought we needed. There's this quote I love from Erich Fromm, and he says, "The quest for certainty blocks the search for aliveness and meaning. Uncertainty is the very condition that impels a person to unfold their powers." And I love that it's kind of like necessity is the mother of invention. Like when we're broken off of those shells, there's a real freshness that comes, and uncertainty allows us to do that, particularly if we can keep our seat in it. And we talked about that last week when we talked about beginner's mind, not knowing mind. Can we just be in this moment and not know, and not put on all those scary stories, because that's where we get graspy and crunchy and those kinds of things happening. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about, okay, so if this aliveness is so fresh and so refreshing and helpful to us in so many ways, just like we saw with that gentleman he's like amazed that there are actually allies in the world now, that our story of Black people is starting to break down, and we're starting to actually see them. We're starting to see them as us, our community, interbeing, these kinds of things. And there's a freshness for them, like, oh, you're finally seeing me. Wow, this is amazing. So, a lot of good has happened when this breakdown has happened. I was reflecting on in 1918, the Spanish flu. That actually was part of what compelled and propelled the women's suffrage vote to happen. What happened was a lot of men got it, way more men than women got it. And so men were sick and women started stepping into their jobs. And with more economic power and being seen, women were seen as strong and they had something to contribute. Suddenly that is the condition for women, for the world to say, or at least the United States to say, we need to give women the vote. They deserve the vote. And, I think about World War II and the atrocities of World War II. And it was right after World War II that the UN was begun, that out of World War II, the idea of a United Nations was born. And how amazing that is, that we had that happen. So there's incredible growth possible now during this time. But how do we stay open in this freshness? Because if we get a little too far out there, we start to feel uncomfortable and we want to close down and we want to go back to our old habits. And certainly, the systems will pull for that too. As we come out of this pandemic, they're going to pull for us to go back to the old ways. And a lot of people are saying, I don't want to do that. I don't want to work in the office, or I want more time with my family, or whatever it is. So how do we stay open? How can we make this a practice where we actually stay open? Because when we're open to learning and aliveness, we're healthier, we do better, we're more loving, we're more fresh, more appreciative, have more gratitude. I was seeing a study where Harvard was pointing out that people who keep learning and stay fresh have actually slower cognitive decline. They actually stay alive and healthy much longer. So how do we do it? So there's a couple of things we can do to kind of stay on this edge of the wave of freshness. Yeah. The first is commit yourself to learn something new every day. And there's, as someone was pointing out, we have incredible opportunity now because of the internet. So it might be listening to a podcast, taking time on your Facebook page to not just like something, but actually click on it and listen to it, pay attention to it, watch a video of something you might be sort of interested in, but you don't want to take the time. It's like, take the time. Take the time to let it change you, Another thing we can do is that as we do this, we also need to take care of our bodies and take care of kind of opening ourselves to nourishment. And so making a commitment to do something outdoors every day, whatever that might be. It might be take a walk. It might be just go outside and stand in the sunshine and breathe it in for 15 minutes. But being outdoors actually opens our mind and heart and kind of softens the body and brings us into more aliveness. So spending some time outside every day, even if you stuck on Zoom most of the day. I take lots of breaks and go outside. Practicing gratitude, just as we did tonight, just so that you had a taste. You probably noticed that when you touched into gratitude and you began to breathe it through your body, that actually your cells, your body feel like it's starting to change. Feels more open, more joyful. And, the neuroscientists tell us that you can't just think of positive things. The body and the mind needs at least 30 seconds of savoring for it to actually land in your system and begin to change your mind, the condition of your mind. So if you're stressed and you go outside for that 15 minutes and you're breathing in the sun, it's not like you walk outside and say, okay, that's nice, and walk right back in. Take a moment to really savor and breathe it in, breathe it through your cells. That's where it actually changes your mind, changes your whole body. So that kind of savoring practice. What else? Some kind of stabilizing practice I find is really important. So for me, that's mindfulness, taking mindfulness every day, and particularly doing the practices of releasing any extra energy, letting that energy bubble out, coming into our essential nature. And this is important because if you stay open to learning and you stay open to keep breaking down your shells, you're going to hit some moments where you get scared. You're going to hit some moments where it's like, this feels unfamiliar. Again, if you're in beginner's mind, you don't really have that. But if you start to tell stories about, well, what's going to change for me if I live here? Now you get to scare yourself. So you need to let go of that energy. And so I find really being in the flow, bubbling that energy out, imagining I'm in a large, open, spacious, natural space helps. And then touching in, breathing out the tension or the fear, and then settling back in essence, settling back in our essential nature. And that allows us to just check in. Is Essence scared of these changes? Is Essence scared of newness? Is awareness worried about this? No, not at all. And we take our seat there again. Like, it's okay to change. We're going to be okay to change. One of the things I've been pointing out over these weeks is how much change is happening and how we keep coming through. We keep coming through. What felt like a disaster a week ago is gone. And we're still here, practicing. So just this invitation to stay in the aliveness, to stay in the learning, to stay fresh, and keep letting your old systems break down, break away, so that you can realize what it's like to live in flow. We look at people that seem to do very well with change, and what we find is that they're very good at living in flow. They don't find their sense of self or their identity off of some label. They find it in their aliveness. They find it in their essence. And it becomes okay for the world to be changing. It becomes normal and ordinary to have a fresh day every day. So, I have this quote I wanted to read you guys. This is from a Japanese writer, current. And he says, "And once the storm is over, you won't remember how you made it through, how you managed to survive. And you may not even be sure whether the storm is really over. But one thing is certain. When you come out of the storm, you won't be the same person you were who walked in." That was what the storm was all about. And so can we allow ourselves to be in this fresh, edge of the wave? Can that just be a place where you learn to hang? And it doesn't matter if the wave is 4 feet high or 30 feet high. If you know how to surf, you'll be okay. And life is fresh and exciting and new. And we have a chance to rebuild the systems of our world in a very different way if we can stay open. If we can stay open to becoming something new. So, I hope this is of help to your practice. I hope that you get to do something new every day in learning and get outside, practice gratitude, let off any scary energy, and settle in your essence so that you can really surf this wave, whatever's coming. It will change. It will change. There will be pain, there will be joy, there will be all kinds of things coming in the next few weeks. One thing I wanted to share with you guys that I think is absolutely a beautiful piece of opening our mind and heart on this planet right now is some of you know John Bruna, who's a beloved teacher, teaches mindfulness and mindful recovery programs. And he actually, a few years ago, began doing a compassion festival. So he has a compassion film festival that he runs every August. And it happens to be this week. It's going to be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night. Or Saturday, Sunday. And here's the thing. Since we have COVID, this year it's online. So anybody can go to it from all over the world. So I love this idea that he's facilitating compassion on the planet. So if you're interested or have some time, or even if you just want to support one human being doing an amazing thing on the planet right now, you could go and buy a pass for the Compassion Fest and watch some amazing films. They're short films, full-length features, and also workshops, and then Q&As with the film makers as well. And to me, this is kind of feeding what's good in the world, where we want this world to be headed. So I hope you join him in this beautiful offering. So, lovely to sit with you guys and share this path and this journey with you all. Certainly is up and down all the time. But when I see videos like I did of that gentleman today, my heart just sings. My heart just sings. And so, yeah, let's all be allies to Black Lives Matter and mental health and compassion on the planet. You know, I have this phrase for me, may all beings live with dignity and respect and nourishment. You know, what if that were kind of the way we were doing things? You know, another way to say it is, what if your purpose in life is to create the world you want to live in? It's a lovely idea. So let's just sit for a moment and share our intention in a mindful moment. You can close your eyes if you like. And so may our willingness to learn and open to fresh ideas, our willingness to let go of our old conditioning, our old stories, and learning to live in freshness, freedom, and new systems. May all this bubble out from our life and our example to invite others to this freshness, so that this wave of fresh learning travels throughout the whole world, touching all beings, so that all beings may relish and live in the peace and love and joy of a world that's willing to keep growing. So thank you, everybody. Thank you for your participation, your love, your support. It's wonderful to hang out with you guys, even though we're all spread out.